Climbing back upon Mount Soapbox for another rant. And what a surprise, the GTA 5 Online Milked Edition has proven to be an utter disaster. A lot of players have moved their clocks over to New Zealand time in order to check out GTA 5 and Online Milked Edition for the PS5 and Xbox Series to discover a lot of issues and problems that the game currently has. And Rockstar Support dropped a newswire we're going to go over, link below in the description section. So I'm just combining all this together into one rant video, an information video. I would warn all of you that have a PS4, Xbox One character in GTA Online that play with friends on those consoles to not transfer that character over to PS5 and Xbox Series. Why, you ask? Well, I'm about to explain why. This is from Rockstar Support. Migrating your GTA Online profile from PS4 or Xbox One to PS5 or Xbox Series X and S. Question: how can I migrate my GTA Online profile to PS5 or Xbox Series XS? Answer: you can migrate your profile through either GTA Online landing page or pause menu once you have signed into the Rockstar Games Social Club on your preferred console. Important: once your progress has been transferred from PS4 to Xbox One to PS5 or Xbox Series S and X, your migrated profile will no longer be available on PS4 or Xbox One. In other words, your PS4, Xbox One character is transferred to PS5, Xbox Series and no longer exists on the last-gen consoles. You won't be able to play with friends on the PS4 or Xbox One if you make this transfer over to PS5 or Xbox Series. Additionally, profiles cannot be transferred between PS4 or Xbox One to PC. Now, what that means is, if many years ago, when PC became available on GTA Online, and you already had a PS4 account or a Xbox One account, you had a window to transfer that character from PS4 or Xbox One to PC, so you didn't have to completely start over. Similar to the way it was with 360 PS3 when you were able to transfer those over to PS4 and Xbox One. A decision that players made back in 2015 to transfer a version of their character from PS4 or Xbox One to PC is preventing them now from being able to transfer that same character from PS4, Xbox One over to PS5, Xbox Series. You are being punished for something you did back in 2015 by Rockstar. And you're also not being able to keep playing on PS4 or Xbox One if you are able to transfer your character over to Xbox Series or PS5. That way, the community is divided even further because we're not going to have cross-gen. So, okay, I accept that. No cross-gen. Fine. We don't even have cross-play between Xbox Series and PS5. But to divide the GTA Online community even further and divide friends, Rockstar's had the brilliant idea to prevent players from being able to keep a version of their PS4, Xbox One characters and have a PS5, Xbox Series version, or you don't even get to transfer your character over to PS5 if many years ago you happened to transfer your PS4, Xbox One character to PC back in 2015. Which is why I'm advising a lot of people right now that play GTA Online on the PS4, Xbox One with friends on PS4, Xbox One that do not have a PS5 or Xbox Series because of shortages, economic reasons, to hold off from transferring your character, your primary account character, over to PS5 or Xbox Series because you'll no longer be able to play on the PS4 or Xbox One. In other words, I guess you'll have to start completely over. The only solution that might work at the moment for those of you that still want to play with your friends on Xbox One, PS4, but check out the PS5, Xbox Series versions of GTA Online is to simply have or use a backup account, like your backup PSN account. If you have a backup account for PSN or Xbox, you should be able to still access GTA Online standalone on PS5, Xbox Series, or GTA 5 for either of the new current-gen consoles if you have acquired it already, but are hesitant to transfer your character over now on the primary account because you still want to play with friends on the primary account back on PS4, Xbox One. At least that's what I'm planning on doing on Tuesday whenever I stream the Milked Edition of GTA Online on PS5. I'm just going to try my backup account and use that instead. Even though I'm going to have to completely start over on the backup account with the career builder and all that nonsense, at least I'll still have my main account over on the PS4, and maybe if Rockstar does a 180 and reverses this ridiculous policy and allow us to transfer over from PS4, Xbox One to PS5, Xbox Series, while having a version of our PS4, Xbox One characters remain and not be deleted so we can play with friends on last gen, then I may make that transfer. But until then, I'm not going to do it for the time being. Either way, you're going to have to start completely over, but at least using a backup account if you have a backup PSN or Xbox account for the PS5, Xbox Series. At least that way, you still have your primary account safe to be transferred eventually, and you're able to still play with friends on Xbox One, PS4, if you wish to still do so, without transferring your character over to PS5, Xbox Series on the primary account. I hope that makes sense. But I remember back in 2014 when we were allowed to transfer our GT Online character to the PS4, Xbox One, but we could still keep playing with our original PS3, Xbox 360 characters. Some of us have PS5s and Xbox Series, but a lot of our friends don't due to console shortages. You know, what the hell was Rockstar thinking? And the fact that a lot of players like Bruffy transferred their PS4 character to PC back in 2015 are being punished today, several years later, preventing them from being able to transfer their PS4, Xbox One character over to PS5, Xbox Series because of a decision they made back in 2015 when there was that window of opportunity to create a version of your PS4, Xbox One character on PC. This is just terrible PR on Rockstar's part, and it's pissing off GT Online fans that are wanting to play with their friends still on last gen, but at the same time check out the milked edition of GTA Online. Going back to this Rockstar Support article, let's talk about the landing page. After choosing the online option from the landing page, you'll be presented with the migrate profile screen. From here, choose what platform account profile you wish to migrate from. You must then confirm that you wish to migrate the selected profile with the understanding that any unspent purchased cash from GTA is not eligible to transfer across platforms. For example, PS4 to Xbox Series S and X, or Xbox One to PS5. That's your shark card money, by the way. So your shark card money can only go in family from PS4 to PS5 or Xbox One to Xbox Series. It cannot be transferred across from PlayStation to Xbox, FYI. A large screen will let you know when the migration is successfully completed. Note, any players who have previously purchased Criminal Enterprise Starter Pack will also be alerted that all discounts associated with the pack will be applied to the game. Players will then be brought to a review character screen where they can choose to start a new character or continue with their existing one. Choosing to continue with the new character will overwrite the existing character slot. If you have not created a new character via the Career Builder, you'll be brought to the Career Builder selection screen. If you choose to continue with your existing character, you'll then enter GTA Online. Pause menu. If you choose to not migrate your profile during the initial entry into GTA Online on PS5 or Xbox Series X and S, you may do so later through the pause menu by selecting Online, then Migrate Profile. The migration process can then be followed using steps above. Note, some profiles may not be eligible for migration for several reasons, such as account being suspended, banned, or having illegitimate or insufficient progress, or like modded, glitched money, etc. Once again, article from Rockstar Support, link below in the description section. So there's other issues that have come up throughout the social medias regarding what's happening with the milked edition of GT Online that I would like to talk about regarding this disastrous launch so far. Motion blur is a thing in the milked edition of GTA Online and probably GTA 5 for PS5, Xbox Series, and has made several people dizzy and sick, including Bruffy. The Rockstar Editor is locked behind GTA 5. So if you get GTA Online standalone and you like using the Rockstar Editor, well, bad news. As of right now, the Rockstar Editor is locked basically behind a paywall, i.e. GTA 5. Traffic on the PS5, Xbox Series for GTA Online has not been updated, even though Rockstar mentioned something about that a few days ago. I think they may have been just talking about GTA 5, but that doesn't make sense because most of GTA 5 takes place in 2013, whereas GTA Online is set in modern times, i.e. newer vehicles should be driving around Los Santos and Blaine County, as well as all the way up to Paleto Bay in the GOH. But no, it's the same vehicles from 2013 in the milked edition of GTA Online, which makes a whole lot of sense knowing Rockstar. And we don't even have the wildlife or sea life added to GTA Online on PS5, Xbox Series, I get it for the 360, PS3 errors, even the PS4, Xbox One errors. Don't really understand that decision for PC, but you think by now, an 8-plus-year-old game like GTA Online, we would have the wildlife and sea life from 8 years ago finally added to GTA Online. But no, we do not have wildlife or sea life in the milked edition of GTA Online 8 years later. Glitches, bugs, issues from the PS4, Xbox One versions are also being found in the PS5, Xbox Series versions of GTA Online, and we're still on the peer-to-peer system instead of having dedicated servers. Bear in mind, GTA 5 Online Enhanced Expanded Milked Edition was first announced back in June 2020. We went over this a few days ago. And then we got an official release date, well, the first one for November 11th, 2021. It got delayed to March 15th, 2022. So Rockstar has had time to actually upgrade and update and make GTA 5 and Online feel like it belongs on the PS5 and Xbox Series X and S without all these problems and issues that it's currently experiencing. But after what I've seen so far from Bruffy and a few other content creators and streamers that have been making videos and streaming, I have to ask the question, other than making money off of what's left of your GTA community, Rockstar, what was the point of releasing GTA 5 and Online? Because we already have it backwards compatible on the PS5 and Xbox Series, thanks to players who already had the PS4 and Xbox One copies. All this really was about, Rockstar and Take-Two, was milking GTA 5 and GTA Online to the bare bones, while at the same time dividing the player base in numerous ways, as well as pissing off the GTA Online community. Most of us expected this version to not be cross-gen. It would have been cool if it would have been cross-play between PS5 and Xbox Series, but a lot of us were under the assumption that we'd at the very least be able to go back to our PS4, Xbox One characters and still play with our friends on last gen, since a lot of people still don't have the PS5 or Xbox Series. So until Rockstar allows us to keep our main PS4, Xbox One characters, like we were able to with the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 characters when we transferred them to PS4 and Xbox One, we could still go back and forth, play on PS4, Xbox One, and then if we wanted to, just jump back into PS3 and 360 with a original version of the same character in order to still play with friends on the PS3, Xbox 360. And for creators, that was pretty awesome because we could do side-by-side comparisons between what it looked like on the 360, PS3, compared to the PS4, Xbox One. But until Rockstar allows us to keep a version for PS4, Xbox One so we can still play with friends on last gen, I have no intention of transferring my main PS4, Xbox One characters over to PS5 and Xbox Series X. In other words, I'm just going to try out the PS5 version of GTA Online Milked Edition with my backup PSN account. Hopefully Rockstar will actually take a moment to look at all the backlash they're receiving today for all these terrible decisions they've made regarding the Milked Edition and reverse course before it's too late. They also need to do something about the motion blur on the PS5, Xbox Series Milked Edition because it's making people feel dizzy and sick. Maybe update the traffic at the very least. It would be nice if we had wildlife and sea life finally added to GTA Online, but that's really not the end of the world if they never add it. And like the Rockstar Editor, seriously, Rockstar, you're going to lock that shit behind GTA 5 so we have to shell out a few more bucks in order to buy GTA 5 just so we can use the Rockstar Editor in GTA Online? You really are trying to milk every last dollar, pound, euro, quarter, penny out of us, aren't you? As far as I'm concerned, the milked edition of GTA 5 and specifically GTA Online for PS5, Xbox Series is a disaster, and it is dead on arrival. Your thoughts, your views, your opinions regarding this disastrous launch of GTA 5 Online Milked Edition, welcome below in the comments section.